It's Sunday, November 19th, 2023. Just came back from church. We're getting ready to start this meeting. It's all good. It's all God. Here we go. Ethlyn. Took sunshine with me. She went to church school. Ethlyn's connecting. Ethlyn's connecting. Hello, cuz.
How you doing?
Fine.
No,
How are you?
I'm okay. How you been doing?
Oh, fine. Just came back from church with uh, my little great granddaughter, Sunshine.
hmm So how's your boss doing?
Oh, he's he's running. He's over here just checking me out. Yeah,
Right, trying to be a boss.
yeah. He, he likes attention. Lexus, come here. Come here for a minute. Get ready to start the meeting.
So is it just me and you?
Yeah, we just started.
You're so cute though.
Just
Look
started.
at him, look like a little bear.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that love. You ought to see Jerry's dog there. So cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
Edie thought about getting her another one.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she gonna get her a chair, or however you see
A terrier?
it.
Cool. All right, Lexus. You can roll now. You good?
Oh,
Good.
that is so cute.
All right.
So is it just me and you right now?
Yeah, that's how we start. That's how we start off.
Right.
So, is there any topics that you want to go over? I just want to be able to be prepared. I have an
No,
agenda, and I want to do. You know, what what is it that you would like to cover today?
no, nothing really. Just gonna listen.
Oh no, it isn't. Remember last time?
And you know
I
me,
said,
I might chime in, but
you remember the last meeting? It was that we were going to go over Gen Match.
oh yeah, we did say we're gonna do that, right?
You did request it.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right then. So I'm set to go over that. Uh,
Yeah. So people know what kind of engine search engine it is that is probably more beneficial than Ancestry. Just you got more things to work with. That's what I try to tell people.
well, there's it has different purposes for different people.
Right.
It's a tool, and they're only as good as its tools are only as good as the person who's using the tool.
Right.
You know, they might be sitting on, you know, a power tool, and then they're doing things manually.
Right. True.
This technology is really moving when it comes to the different tools for construction
Right.
and everything else. Just what we're doing. You know, look how fast since since we started this Zoom experience. Look how things have advanced.
Right.
And one thing that's happened. Wow, that's beautiful. They've they have Ancestry has they've developed a lot of different programs to help the users to simplify
Right.
the process because they want to keep customers. You know,
I
they want to
found
keep.
one of my beginning books when I first got on Ancestry, but I didn't write down whether they were fifth cousins or sixth cousins. But I'm sure that it's back in the day when we were doing fifth and sixth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I still got some of my fifth and sixth cousins.
we weren't. We couldn't be as specific
Right.
as we are now. And then now, the users who are coming on now, they want to be exact.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They're they
Mm.
they're trying to be exact, and we're trying to say, wait a minute. If you saw where we started at to where we're at now, let's
It's
just work
amazing, huh?
let's work with what we have. You know.
Right. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I was I was talking to my niece earlier. She, been trying to find grandma and her name and all this. What do you think about middle names? That's where she's going.
Well, they they all help. You know, any clue helps because some people they have their name uh there's duplicate names, and some have a William T.
Hmm.
There might be a William J. You know, and that could determine a different person.
But was it the women's that, like back in slavery, was it the women's or whatever? Not the women's, but the men. Somewhere the men's got the mother's maiden names for the middle name, but it wasn't for the women's word, was it?
I don't know for sure, but like one of our uh, one of our members will be able to, you know, probably expound on that. But
Right.
and if we did, you know, once you find it out, it's still not an exact science that was used.
Right.
Basically, you know, these names, so many of them are duplicated,
Hmm.
and and they're that you have to really focus on their age, their location, who, you know, their records, so you can, you know, pin one of them down. You know what I mean? To make sure I know that this one is that person, and
Right.
then you'll have verification on the census or on a record, and because spellings are there's a lot of inaccuracies in the spellings, and it means the same, and they're describing the same person.
I know they use a lot of William and Henry and the mouse line
And Thomas
in time. Yeah. Yeah.
and John.
Right. Not so much as Leroy and Like my dad's name was Leroy, but his name was Leroy Franklin. Where she go from Franklin at, I don't know. But there was Uncle Henry, Uncle William,
Yeah, that's
Uncle
interesting.
Harold.
That's interesting that you said that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. That's interesting that you said that because you're right. Different. I don't see very many in my research of that
Leroy.
first name of Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
see. My uncle was named Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I
But I
guess
want
on my mom's side we had Uncle named Leon, but I haven't seen that on my dad's side yet.
well, who who's your closest relative who lives out here in California?
That would be a mouse.
That would be, no, just a relative, any relative who lives
Well,
out here.
my uncle Eddie was there until he died. He's got kids there. He was in, I think, Sacramento. Then I had an auntie on my mom's side was there in what part she was in.
The Uncle Eddie, who was that on your father's or mother's side?
That was my father's brother. His wife is still there and his kids.
Well, the the reason why I asked is the reparations task force. They're dissolved, and now the bill is in the legislature, and
Mm-hmm.
they're moving right along. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be giving an update on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that every time that we share our information,
Mm-hmm.
talking about these different people, like this person here, Eddie, your father, Uncle Eddie. What was Eddie's last name?
Most.
Okay.
Then I had a on my mom's side, Flora Military.
You had what?
Flora Military.
Mm-hmm.
She was on my mom's side. Yeah.
Well, well, what's happening is it's important that we don't fall asleep uh, like there was 10 bridesmaids in the story.
Yeah.
Jesus and five of them fell asleep and didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the oil.
Right.
When the bride, when the groom
With the
came back,
bride. Right.
and
Yeah.
Jesus used that as an analogy, parable.
Mm-hmm.
I always spoke in
Mm-hmm.
parables,
Right.
and that's how it is with this. Not only this with reparations, but with a lot of opportunities. If you fall
Mm-hmm.
asleep, the opportunity can go right by you when you're at the event and you get locked out.
Right.
If you're not aware of the following the spirit that's telling you do this, do that, and you're saying, no, I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna wait.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't follow that spirit when it comes, when that spirit tells you to do something,
Right.
you'll miss out. And then you say, I wish I would have. And
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
yeah,
Well, should have could have.
But I'm gonna be talking about that. So what I'm
Did
doing is I'm doing my research and preparing while I have some. God allows me to have some quality time
mm-hmm.
with less distractions,
Right.
and 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 then I'm able to uh, do my research and do it methodically and organize it and
Mm-hmm.
be able to use it and then build upon that information that I found and then um, verify, then build build another branch of my tree and fill in another picture, my family portrait, and
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting.
Right.
Just like what you saw last week, what I shared with you.
And I'll be sharing it with everybody. And I'll be asking, who is this? Who is this?
Yeah, that's
uh,
my grandmother,
right.
Ethel, Ethel Burnell. Yeah, you got to see her nieces and nephews too. And same features, facial, same features as her.
Right.
And so families, the genes are passed down.
Right.
So what do you have planned for Thanksgiving?
I'll probably go out to my sister's.
Okay.
But I was talking to our cousin Larry. I'm sure he's your cousin too, through the NIMS and NELMS. But he deterred me a little bit because what he said made a lot of sense. Thanksgiving was all about pilgrims, right? When they took the land and stuff from the Indian.
Yeah,
So he made a lot of sense. He said he don't celebrate it.
that's true. The different customs and what that is that's not only you know we're studying Black history, and in the process, Native Americans, they have a history that is pretty unique in its own self.
Right.
And I can understand his sympathy for how the indigenous people treated.
Mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about the pale man on the man on the pale horse, and it took me a little bit before I realized what he was saying. But he talked about Satan coming through on a pale horse. So it took me a while.
On a pale horse.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
when he tries to be like Jesus, he gonna come through. They said it's a white horse, but he's gonna replicate how Jesus is gonna come. So it took me a minute for me to realize what he was saying. I said, well, man, what he say? A man on a pale horse. Mm. What's wrong with you, Deborah?
Pardon me.
Oh, my daughter, she's on the phone. I hear her making some kind of noise. Deborah.
Like,
Oh,
is she with you, or she's at her house?
she probably fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Is she? Are you in the same location, or she's at another location?
She live up towards Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
Not too far. But now, since I've had neck surgery and all, I don't drive. So I mean, I do drive, but just around here. I don't try to hit the highways or nothing. So we don't see much each other. Just talk on the phone.
That's
Yeah,
it's a blessing to be able to do that.
be on the phone. Yeah, because like Shanine, I've been trying to get her to get on the chat. Her daughter, she got two daughters, won't even speak to her. And she's the one in Flint, Michigan. Two daughters won't even speak to her. She's been talking about getting an investigator to find out where they at.
Your cousin?
Mm-hmm.
Is she a first cousin?
No, she come up in, you could find her in Ancestry. Shanine Burks, Burke. She's my fifth, eighth cousin, but she think her dad was a mouse. That's why she was trying to find her mom and her dad. She found out who mom was, but she haven't found out her dad.
What's her last name?
Burks, Shanine,
Can you spell Shanine?
Sheen. I was trying to get in here too. I had it open. I don't know what happened. Let me see.
Well, I'm going to share my screen
Mm-hmm.
because I want to start this presentation to see how uh, to share this screen, my screen about the presentation that I'm going to be working on, and I want
Okay.
to, pardon me, and I want to do it here.
Hold
I
on a
want
minute. I
because
got to get
I want to go over.
Hello.
What time do we need to leave for your appointment? I know I need to come early in the morning, right, to be able to ride the bus with you?
Yeah, I'll be leaving at 9.
9, okay, I'll be there by then.
All right.
And then, something else. I got you a bed. My husband just has to go pick it up and bring it to you.
Oh, bless your heart.
So it's a full size, they bought it for the spare room of the parsonage, but it's just him and his wife, so it's basically never been used.
Oh, well, bless your heart. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, I'll see you in the morning.
All right. Love you.
All right.
Bye.
I want to share these documents and see how they so is that Deborah?
I don't know. Deborah, I
Yeah,
had her on mute. I don't know how you
No, she's talking now.
What you saying, Deborah?
I was asking what you still want to do.
Yeah, we just started. You coming on?
No, I'm
Why not, Deborah? Hey, how you doing, there? How you doing, young cuz?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good hearing your voice.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right, Deborah.
Yeah, I hate going to sleep this early though.
Right.
Back up my feet.
Right.
I'm tired.
All right.
All right.
Tomorrow.
Oh my God, it's
Don't know what she's doing. Mhm. So what?
Okay, Ethlyn, can you see this map?
Yeah.
I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna click and see if another map will come up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the map of the United States.
Right.
Can you see it more clear now?
Mm-hmm.
And you're right here in Missouri, right here by Jefferson City.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. But
That's a good.
Kansas City. Kansas
Huh?
City. I'm close to Kansas City.
Yeah, right here.
Kansas City, yeah. Mm-hmm. East, like you coming out of Kansas City, coming to St. Louis, Jefferson City, it's like east of Kansas City
Yeah, I
on
see.
I-70.
It's right there, right next to the.
Yeah,
Yeah, right there.
right here around Kansas City, between Kansas City and St. Louis.
Yeah, I got it right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I'm going to see if it switched to another map. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just gonna pick here. Can you see that map?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is that? This map.
Oregon, California.
Yeah, that's California.
Okay.
Can you see that California map?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I must switch another one. Can you see that one?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like?
Nothing. Mm-hmm.
Well, what that one is, let me go back to it. That,
Migration.
yeah, that's the proportion of Negro to total population at the 20th census, at 1900 census.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sixth level map of the population
Hmm.
here of the United States. That's where they are. And,
Right.
and that's what you call the black belt.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Right.
That's where that's where the blacks were. And that this was in 1900. I'm going to click to another one and tell me if you see it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see it. The Great Migration.
Oh wow, I'm glad this is working. That's a map of the immigration patterns of African Americans from 1900 to 1929.
Mm-hmm.
And was that clear?
Mm-hmm.
You can see where from mine, it's right here
I
in
see
Arkansas.
Missouri.
Huh?
I see Missouri.
Yeah, there it is. And people, they came right through from Arkansas, Louisiana, and from these areas, Arkansas, Louisiana, this is called the Great Migration. They went
Mm-hmm.
up north to Minneapolis, Davenport, and that area, and then from Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, they're up in Chicago, Detroit. So
Where's
that's
Maryland?
huh?
Where's Maryland at?
That's over here. See, Maryland is. Let me go back. Baltimore over here. You see it right there, Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's Baltimore, Maryland, right there. This is the East Coast over on this side. That's the migration over there.
Mm-hmm.
From Florida, a lot of them during the 1900s to 1929. That's the migration pattern there. And these are the different corridors. What it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to another one. You see this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad this is working. This is the African American migration. This is from 1915 to,
Oh
19,
wow.
to 1970. These are the patterns. See, the Great Migration was 1915 to 1940. And then they went from here, the darker ones right there, that's the Great Migration. And then
Mm-hmm.
The second migration, 1940 to 1970, they our people, African Americans, they migrated west. Look at that. See how they're going west?
Right. So there's Nebraska.
They're going up through Nebraska, Wyoming,
Mhm.
Idaho, Washington. That's
Right.
from 1940 to 1970. Look at that.
Hmm.
And so these maps are helping this. I'm laying the foundation of our migration patterns,
Hmm.
and I'm sharing them. I'm sharing them because that's going to be important. Uh,
Who is she, your mom?
that's my second great grandmother. That's Sarah Ellison. That's my
Oh,
second.
your mom's side.
That's my
Okay.
great grandmother, Sarah Ellison.
Okay.
And she's the one that's from Texas.
Hmm.
And when I do my presentations on genealogy, documenting my relatives from enslavement to freedom and to property owners and uh,
Right.
being able to make our own choices. She's one that I document her history and her ancestors, and it comes right down through me.
Okay.
So that's Sarah. That's my great grandmother. That's my grandmother's mother, and that's my mother's grandmother, Sarah Ellen. And then here, this is. Can you see this one?
Mm.
This is my fourth great grandmother, Caroline Ellison Tabor. This is when she was enslaved, and so in order to prove um, our lineage in this ancestry reparations, we have to. Some people don't have this kind of documentation, but I happen to
Mm.
have it because my cousins shared it with me.
Right.
And so this is my fourth great grandmother. Is Caroline. There she
Hmm.
is, and child. So Caroline and child $900, and a Negro boy Henry was $400.
Mm.
And this is part of an estate, a will of the slaveholder who passed away without a will, or
Right.
the one that he had wasn't official. And this is how they evaluated the land and everything, and how they dispense property, the, their slaves, who they gave them to, and the
Mm.
values of them.
Right.
That's a record that I have. Isn't that something to be able to say? Great parents,
They have all that info.
they had this kind of info, yeah.
Hmm.
And notice that the men like Negro Sam, they were higher priced. See, that's $1,000 for him.
Hmm.
And uh, there's another one. Uh, his name was Sidney. And what I come to find out, he's a relative too. Some of my cousins told me that they had uh, Negro Sam, Negro Benjamin, Franklin. Oh, here it is, Negro Sidney, right here. You see him?
Hmm.
He's $950. But what he did, he was one of the one of the slaves who impregnated some of the women here. He was one of the men that they used for breeding purposes.
Mm.
And his kids match on DNA. They match me, some of his kids.
Right.
And so, some of my cousins told me the story, and they put this together. First, I was focusing on her, Caroline, my fourth grade grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and then they started telling me more about these other ones, and now these other relatives, they were all in the same plantation, and then they all, when they migrated to the same areas when they were free. See,
Mm-hmm.
and so then that's how I was able to get. They kept they kept this Tabor name, and they kept the Ellison name. Some of them kept Ellison, some kept Tabor.
Okay.
Mm. Now, this is the California Task Force out here in
Mm-hmm.
California. These are the members. There's 9 of them, and they have since dissolved. They for 2 years they did studies on reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Here they are, the people who are dedicated and traveled the whole state and had meetings and presentations and heard from the members of the community, and then they got input, and then they had their input, and they, you know, having legislation is messy, but it's necessary.
Right.
And this is the committees, and this right here, this lady right here, this lady here, can you see her?
Mm-hmm.
That's Council Member for Monica Montgomery Step. She's here in San Diego. She she's a city council member, and now she got elected to the county of San Diego. And well, I know her. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we have through I've done a couple of events when she was going to be attending, and because she's on the task force, and my role was to share DNA information. How does people actually, how do you qualify? How can you prove your lineage? So that's where
Right.
the DNA portion comes in.
So basically, what are they seeing has to happen for you to prove it?
You have to have these records that I just showed you.
You have to have them records.
Something similar to that.
So if you don't have records, then you're lost, right?
right. Then
Oh well.
then what you're gonna have to do? No, not this kind. You don't have to have that kind of specific information. You'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
trace them. With the records that
Mm-hmm.
you have, you can trace your relatives to enslavement before 1900.
Oh yeah, I've traced Philip to slavery.
Yeah, well, that's what qualifies. And so any of
Right.
your cousins, your uncles, your aunts that's out here in California, the records
Mm-hmm.
you have, you you can give them to your relatives, and then they can use your records to submit for they for them to qualify.
Right.
Now, do you understand where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not only for ourselves, but for others. The records that we were doing to just connect us, now they
Mm-hmm.
have this reparation, and now we're able to, the information that we've worked hard on, now we can use that to qualify for reparations here in California.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just going on with the process so far. Let me ask you, because you're my first one that I'm explaining it to you, the presentation. How's the presentation going? How am I in the background? How am I presenting it to you, the steps?
No, it's flowing pretty good.
Are you able to follow the
I'm not
process?
confused. No, I'm not confused. So
Okay,
it's good.
okay. So thank you. That's where I'm going with this. So let me continue.
Right.
This gentleman here, he's in the legislature, California legislature. Reginald Jones Sawyer, and he was a part of one of the meetings that Zoom meetings that one of the live presentations at the downtown library. He joined the meeting via Zoom. And this is Bradford. He's a senator. He's another senator in California, and he's part of the panel. So you see,
I have one question on all these people.
yes,
Have any of them done their DNA?
yes,
They have.
yes.
Hmm.
And some of them know their grandparents. Yes, they have.
Hmm.
And they're like very, very um experienced on the whole process because they're the ones that legislating and coming up with uh, the rules in order for the legislature to follow and come up with to make it into law. That they had these are people who did the studies and did the research and the reports and interviewed people. So they're very, very experienced and knowledgeable on the topics.
Right. I know they were saying that the mayor of Kansas City, he've already started something. So I'm figuring with him would trickle down to us.
Yes, well, that's why I, I've been talking about this for over a year now,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's marching through the legislature, but we also got to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that story I told you about the brides the brides group.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
So here it is uh, in September of 2022. I gave a presentation uh, with that city council member and a
Mm-hmm.
couple of the members. I'm a member of the San Diego African American Genealogy group. We have a group here of Black people who are study family history, and
Right.
I'm a member of that group. And so we put on a presentation. One of the members he works at the library, and he had access to the downtown central library, and we worked out a deal where we could get that library to have this presentation to help people um, um, build their family tree through DNA and through research by talking to each other. And so this is
Mm-hmm.
part of the presentation. And on that presentation, notice I had my great grandmother, Sarah Brown, in the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the presentation. And
Right.
I gave when I give presentations, I normally give away DNA kits, at least
So you
one or
remember who
two.
this white guy was? Who was he?
He he was one of the members who was out in the audience here.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I asked the question, how many of you have taken the DNA test, and some didn't. I said, how many want to? And he raised his hands.
Hmm.
And so he came. I called on him. He came up, and I gave him one.
Right.
And I gave this other lady one too. But this is an example of the presentation where we were, and the people who came to the library, the students from college and the public, and it was online. And so I I just discussed the different ways of building your family tree and uh, connecting with your relatives by using DNA.
Right. Hmm.
And this lady here,
Mm-hmm.
I gave her a kit too. She was I, I I asked if anybody had been adopted, and she raised her hand. I said, "Do you know your family?" She said, "No." So I gave her a kit.
Hmm.
So what happened is, so now she has a kid, and
So do you
now
manage your kid?
no, another one of the members of my San Diego African American group does,
Mm-hmm.
but um, that gave her an opportunity to learn about her family. So you see, this is one of the things that is important to not only talk about it, but give them the tools and give them uh, the seeds so that they
Mm-hmm.
can start building their family
Right.
tree. And after the event, can you see this picture?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are all the different people who participated, came in to participated. He's a professor at San Diego State over on the right, and he gave a story about African history. He's a head of African studies. This gentleman right here, and uh, and and this is the gentleman who is in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what us collaborating, coming together, and these people came to attend. These are some of the people who came to attend the event on uh, building their family history.
Right.
Then it moves on. That was in September. And then we come up to January. Now the task force visited San Diego. And I gave a presentation about some of the things that I talked at the original one, how to build your
Mm-hmm.
tree. I did it about how do you build your tree and use DNA, because we know what the task force was wanting to do. You're going to have some facts, some verification,
Right.
and we do it through our research.
Mm-hmm.
See, and so that's what I was sharing with them. And this guy right here, his name is Reggie. I asked the same questions, and eventually I gave him a kit. But I do
Mm-hmm.
manage his kid, Reggie. He's one of the outspoken speakers who would travel where the task force would go. They would go to different, each month they'd go to a different city in California, and you had
Mm-hmm.
different public speakers, people who speak out for, and some people spoke against reparations.
Right.
But these people mostly spoke for it. And I had an opportunity to give my presentation, and I used DNA as, you know, is my, one of my main reasons that when it does come down to it, you're going to have to qualify, and you can use that tool to help you identify your ancestors.
Right. Well, that was somebody was talking about how they were surprised that there was even black people that was against.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got it. They got it. You have that. So here's another gentleman. See, he's a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving his presentation to the committee, and I'm sitting in the front row right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a 2-day event, and I'm showing that I was a part of it, and these different speakers would come up and give presentations, and I was there participating. So,
Right.
and they're talking after 240 years of slavery, what could reparations look like today?
Mm.
So this
Look
was,
good.
huh?
It would look good.
Yeah, it would look good. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just giving you, an outline and
Mm-hmm.
chronological order what my participation is, or what my interest is.
Right.
Instead of talking about it, it's about, be about it.
Right.
Go and see how the decisions that are made, and work with the people, because they're nice, and you have to share what I know with them, and they share what they know with me, and
Right.
we're going to have to all come together.
Mm-hmm.
I have certain skills and tools that I use, and they have some that they use, and and the purpose is for us to move ahead as a family
Right.
and as a people.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
and
because
you,
we're losing ourselves as people. I mean, black people. We're going backwards instead of forward.
well, this is an example I wanted to share about us going forward. Can you see
Right.
that in my presentation so far?
Mm-hmm.
A sense of unity on a particular topic, right?
Right.
And then here's the task force final report. It identifies the methodologies for calculating reparation payments to the community of eligibility. Descendants of chattel enslaved person or descendants of a free black person living in the United States prior to the end of the 19th century and recommends to the legislature. And that was in June of this year. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the report coming up, and they recommended and it's going to identify how they're going to come up with calculating the reparation.
Right.
And here's that Steve Bradford.
Mm-hmm.
He 2 months ago he introduced the bill. The one that we gave him, he introduced the bill in the legislature. So now it's in the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're working on
So where
how
does
to.
it go from legislation?
Oh, they work on how to come up with laws.
Okay.
And then when they come to the laws and get other people to join in, other legislators to join in, then they have a law. And then
Mm-hmm.
from the law, if the Lord wills, then it gets signed by the governor, and then they have to implement
Right.
it. Okay. So there he is. That's Bradford. And so I'm just showing you the steps. Remember, I started
Mm-hmm.
off with a map. Now here's where we're at. Yeah,
Right.
this is where we're at on that.
So you think that okay, you said legislation to government, right?
Yeah. It's in the California state legislature, and they're the ones who make laws. That there's the legislature politicians who are elected by different areas of the state of California, depending on numbers of people, and they represent the people. So those are the legislatures.
So do
And
you think legislation will hold it up for years? Or do you think it's gonna slide right on through?
nothing is nothing just slides right on through, but there's a process. The key is from when I showed you previously to now. You see the steps.
Mm-hmm.
There's steps involved.
Right.
But I want what I wanted to share with the members, and what I want to share with my family and friends is that the process is the ones who are apprehensive or have doubts. I I want to share with them that people are being responsible and they are taking steps
Mm-hmm.
in the right direction.
Right.
And so what he did, once he got the task force, they submitted their report, and then what he did, he has this bill. The legislatures came up with this bill, and here's what it says. It's called SB means Senate Bill 490, and it's the Freedmen's Affairs Agency.
Right.
And you see the things that they have with what's going to come underneath this agency. What is the
Mm-hmm.
first one? What's the first one that you see?
on the agencies,
Yeah, what's
established genealogy,
yeah,
talking about
huh?
established genealogy.
Yeah, office.
Mm,
What's another one?
create Freeman Savings and Trust Banks,
Yeah,
distribute business grants,
right,
facilitate facilitate employment training,
correct,
and then process direct compensation claims.
right. So that's where the politicians, that's where it started off with a proposal. Now it's in the legislature, Ethlyn,
Right.
and now the 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 legislatures, they have to have an agency within the legislature. So when people start to qualify or start to submit their records, they got to have a place where they can go submit their records.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the agency that is being created.
Right.
And one of the first things that they want to have is, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Establish what?
Genealogy office. That
Right.
would be good, 'cause that would be work for people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now you're understanding the process here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many others doing it now. It would be just a whiz to be able to get a job in that office. You know, have you ever did it before? Yeah, for 20 years or it'll be easy to get in that office.
Well, what I'm telling you is, what I'm showing you and sharing with you is, this is the process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the genealogy comes in. And some of it can be done through DNA. Some can be done through records, as long as you can verify the records. They don't want it to be real complicated for the people who to qualify.
I'm trying to write some of this down.
But you have to, but you have to, you do have to have, records and documents to verify
Right.
your claim. See that? And then look at the last one. What does that say?
Process direct compensation.
Claims.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the part that has uh, monetary, the money.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to submit based off of 5 atrocities, and they'll come up with a figure, and you got to go through that
So
department.
what would that be?
What?
The five.
Atrocities?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you. We'll move on.
Okay.
Now, this says California has become the first state to repair the losses of Black people caused due to slavery. However, the reparations or compensation will be given to eligible people. Hence, Black people residing in California must first determine whether they are eligible to get reparations.
Mm-hmm.
And and then it says, to determine who is eligible, DNA testing of the individual will be done to know what parts of Africa someone is from and that person's dominant gene pool. But listen at this. But only DNA testing would 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 determine whether an individual is a direct descendant of an enslaved African. Now, here's the other thing. Birth certificates and census records are also considered and can show a person's lineage, but it may need a genealogist's help. And hiring a genealogist is what?
Expensive, yeah, about what, $3,000?
And so then it goes into how to apply. Determine your suitability to get the reparations, select the appropriate proceedings, go through the reparations complaint checklist, fill out online reparations complaint form, and submit the form with a filing fee. That's regular. That's not necessarily one that, see, anybody can do that here.
Right.
But the one we're talking about, it's not as laborious as that. Because that's sort of, but the one thing is, what are the 5 types of reparations? And, it's blatant human rights, humanity abuses, frameworks, restitution, recompense, and they talk about who will pay for it for them, who will pay for it in order.
Gonna pay for it?
Huh?
Who they think gonna pay for it?
Okay, here it is. In order to recompense eligible Black Californians whose neighborhoods experience severe policing and prosecution of Black individuals throughout the war months from 1970 to 2020, the state estimates $246 billion. When dispersed, amounts to about 125,000 for each qualified individual. That's for just that atrocity. That's an example. Now let's go to the next one. Can you see this? Okay. The task of putting those ideas to paper falls to the lawmakers. So far, few have committed to backing specific statutes, including cash payments. They haven't committed to it yet. Based on annual amounts recommended by the task force, the people I showed you, a person could receive reparations for more than what?
1.2 million.
Correct. I'd like your comments on that.
On the 1.2 million?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about
on the process and where we're at now, how I've explained it to you, and I gave you, and I'm reading this to you.
I was just thinking about Lexington. They're policing how a lot of our Blacks were part of this, my son included.
Correct.
I was just thinking about.
And so, what is your what is your opinion on how the presentation is going? And me,
Interesting.
It is. In which way?
Because I'm being able to jot down stuff in case it come my way. In case it come my way, I know what to look for.
And how am I sharing it with you?
You sharing it. It's pretty legible. It's pretty understanding. Smooth. The way you're taking it from y'all's meeting, the process, where it will probably end in the long run.
Correct. All right, so here's the combined recommended reparations could total more than 1.2 million per person.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount recommended in reparations for 3 or 5 areas of harm defined by the task force. Now, this is just 3 of the 5 areas. The other one, there's 2 other areas, but the task force laid out 5 areas of atrocities. So
Right.
so for the health harms, 13,600 annually. And if you were 71 years old from the time that they started this, they used the time to start, and you're at 71 years old. That's you're probably 50, like that.
Right.
Over that amount of years, over 71 years, the health arms would be $967,000.
Mm.
Now, the next one, housing discrimination. See that?
Mm.
There's a maximum of $3,400 a year over like 49 years. That's when they were doing redlining and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stopping people from getting houses and jacking up prices.
Oh yeah.
This $3,400 over 49 years, that's a total of 140,000, 150,000. See that? Over 49 years. And then here's the other one. Mass incarceration and over policing that they do to our communities. And that's what the war on drugs and the different stopping our kids, stopping us and tied up in the courts, all that.
Right.
A maximum 115,000, a maximum over 44 years, and that's at $2,400 a year.
Wow.
And here are the 5 recommendations for reparations the legislature is considering, and it looks to carve out a policy for Black California. So that's an example.
Right.
Now, this came out 2 months ago. So I want to keep people, there was a text, but I want to keep it where people can understand it, so they can put it their mindset. There that is. So I think that there's another one. That might be that might be it.
Don't like nobody coming in, Jerry.
Well, that's fine. I wanted to get this through. So,
Right.
That I wanted to get this through because it's still. That's
So
what
they will still see it if you put the video up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the purpose of it, was to go through, and it's good to thank you for listening and seeing the process here.
Right.
So as you see, it takes preparation, and there's different formats, because and so and being a communicator and giving different kind of speeches on different formats, it's important to practice.
Right. Right.
So before
That's true.
practice, get my details, get feedback from you. This happened for a reason, and I'm thankful that we were able to have this one-on-one and
Right.
still had a productive meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And like an example is when the information, when it comes to putting a team together, you better believe you'll be part of the team that I'm going to have in order to help share this information.
Mm-hmm.
The genealogy part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, jotting down what you were saying.
So,
I am a jotter. I
yeah,
have paper everywhere.
well, you've seen the you've seen the process, you've seen the
Mhm.
legalities, and I wanted to have some visuals, so that's where the pictures came in,
Right,
and that's where kind of talking to the different representatives, and
right.
then so at some point we're going to have to be putting pen to the paper,
Mm-hmm.
filling out some forms, and sharing our information and with that agency so we can qualify for what our ancestors fought so hard for.
Right. Yeah.
And
Said they went through all that though.
pardon me?
I said what they went through though.
Yeah. And you know what they left us? They left us a lot of love, and our ancestors they left their DNA.
Yeah, that's true. Mhm.
And we're blessed to use it the way that we're using it as a
Right.
positive.
Yeah.
So is there any
That's
other do you need to see anything else with you want me to switch and take a look at um, Jed Match before we leave, or are you okay?
no, I was trying to find Shanine so you could see what I was talking about earlier. She's like my fifth, eighth cousin.
Is she on how how do you search and find her?
Um,
Let me go to my ancestry.
mm, go. She's a bird. Trying to remember how to spell her name. She talked to you one time, me and her.
Yeah.
Mm,
Was she on one of our meetings?
no, we were talking to you on the phone.
Let me go to my matches.
She's a Burke, Burke.
Okay, just a minute. Um, I'm gonna go over here. I know I probably have to reshare just to make sure. So can you see my matches?
Coming up.
Can you see my matches?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna do a search. And what is the name?
Shanine.
Which one do you search? The surname or the other?
Both. I do the surname and then I put in
Okay, Shanine. Okay, how do you spell that?
uh let me tell you in a minute.
Shene.
Sheeen. Sheenean. Sheenean. Burks.
What?
Sheenen EAN.
Nope, not in that one. I do it on the first one.
I could get her myself.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not getting her to pull up.
Nope, it doesn't match.
No, she is really pretty, but I can't get her to pull up. I know she's my 58th cousin.
All right, well, let's do this. Let me share my GED match.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we wanted to do. And before we close out, I want to do this. Can you see the GED match right here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go to people who match 1 or 2 kids. Here you
Mm-hmm.
go. And I'll put my kit number. There it is. And
Mm-hmm.
what is your kit number?
A 63
Wait. A
63
6 3
5
635.
985.
Here we go.
Look like we got a few more than before.
Can you see those?
Yeah, we didn't have that many before. I think we had like a little area.
All right. This is progress.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at some of them though.
Right.
Now this is
Who is Ezel? Kendrick.
Ezell. That's my that's Francis' nephew.
Oh yeah. Well, she said I was kin to two of her nephews.
Yeah, that's Ezell.
Mm-hmm.
That's him. He's one of the family historians, one of the family genealogists. He manages a number of tests. He's one of the gentlemen who uh, gave me some guidance on having tests and take them with me and
Right.
uh, getting as many people tested as possible. So one of the ways of doing it was get tests and take them, and give them to people.
Right.
And he manages a number of tests. As you can see, his name is there.
Right.
But that's who that
Mm-hmm.
is. And you can see on ours, this E. Burnell. I don't know exactly if that's a Edward Burnell. I don't know who he is, that person.
Right.
But I know the Percy E. Burnell. I know him. This is on the Burnell side. That's another. And for me, you can see. Oh, I know who that is. That's Ethlyn. Not Ethlyn. What's her
So,
name? Not Ethlyn. That's what. It's a female. One of my Burnell cousins.
hmm.
Yeah, she's like 169. Let me show you who she is. Let me see.
I've seen this setup before.
Mr. Who?
That setup. You say you sending it to me?
Well, I'm going to show you
How
my
do you
map.
do that on Ancestry?
What?
Send that to people on Ancestry.
What do I send?
No, I said on Ancestry you want to send some info. How do you do that?
I'll show you.
Hmm.
Here she is.
Perkins.
Okay, now, can you see this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Evelyn
Yeah, look at her.
was there, but I think he jumped off of her.
277. But
Okay, I see her now.
the other one was an E with another Burnell. But let me just do this one here. This one here.
Mm-hmm. So where she live?
There she is.
Mm-hmm. But don't say where she live. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's out here in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's Perry's sister. That's one of my she's my second cousin. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
14 segments, she's definitely, related. Let's see
Right.
we just see who she matches, her and me. These are my kids, Jerry, Donnell, Bridget, those are my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Dale, my
I
grandson,
think
right
I
here.
matched with that parish or whatever. Yeah, parish.
Her,
Mm-hmm. Maybe Bell.
this is my niece. This is my brother Stevie's daughter. This is Tracy.
Oh,
See, that's my niece. Look,
check that out because I know that was a parish.
she's my niece. So her, let's see if you might be. You see that EK? That
Mm-hmm.
EK, he's he's
Kendra.
managing this Roxanne Burnell, third
Hmm.
cousin.
Look, come back a little bit. I want to show you something. Remember we talked about him last week.
Which one?
Come down some. Where did I see? Okay, there was a glass too.
Which
Who was
one?
that glass? Right here, glass. Who was
Yeah,
he? Oh,
Dauphine Hughes Glass on my dad's side.
yeah, and I think glass is on my I'm not sure, but go up some. I've seen Lawrence again. That Lawrence,
Where?
maybe with Dale. I thought I'd seen Lawrence. Lawrence Waller. Oh, that was Walker. Oh, I thought that was Waller. No, that was a Walker.
Well, anyway, that's her.
I think I met with that
This one.
are you there? No, ACO was that name too? Patillo. Uh,
Here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do this. And by parent, father side. Now I'm gonna do a search. What is which one? What about you? Ethlyn, what's surname?
Mm-hmm.
Your surname, last name or what?
Mouse
No, I don't want. Uh, Ethlyn, what is your last name now?
Taylor,
Is
but
that the one?
it's Mouse on the ancestry.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the surname right here. Do you see where I just type that in?
Mm-hmm.
Here's EK. There he is. See, he's my second cousin. Here's Mike McGee. That's a gentleman from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's Val. That's my East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
That's James Monroe's grandkids.
So you kid the Turners.
Huh? Yeah,
Turners.
yeah. Davis. So these are the ones that come under Moss.
Right.
But they have them in their trees and stuff like that.
Tobias. That name look familiar. But if you was to put my name over here where it says match name, I would come up.
Let me see. This one over here.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, you might have to go up here in the search engine, up here at the top. Search
Which one? This one?
versus search. Yeah,
Why way up there?
I'll show you. Search. Remember search down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Then you type in my name.
Which one?
My name is ETH ELYN
ETH.
EL my N
YN.
LYN. L mouse L mouse MOSF mouse. Yeah.
That's it. Right?
Yeah, I should pop up.
No
You
result.
got no result. I know it's got the F. Hold on. Mm, I know I got that L in there. Mm,
Still checking. I'm still checking. Here you
oh,
are. You are right here. Ethlyn Taylor.
no, I got a picture.
But who's this Ethlyn Taylor?
Ain't me, because I changed mine to mouse. See? Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
Well, let me see this Ethlyn Taylor real quick. Okay. Keep going. Look at one more page.
Actually, it's F1 Lee mouse. I thought it was L.
Well, see, the
Lee mouse, LEE. My middle name. I thought it was just the L, but it's the But you need to change that down to bottom. Come down to the bottom and change that to from 10 to 50. That way you won't have so many.
The two Ethlyn Taylors, there's one here.
Yeah, I was under Ethlyn Taylor, but I changed it after they kept matching me with Taylors. And so I told them that was my married name. They said, well, maybe you should go with your maiden name.
Seven pages of them. Let's just see it. There you are. Right here.
Yeah, that's me. Right there.
So let me click on that.
That's my mother's mother.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to break it down, like the Rennicks on my mom's side, Moss. Philip, he came under that ground, but now we know how. Yeah.
There it is. That's a good way of researching it. Which one of these trees is, they're all private? There's only one private open?
Yeah, I took all of them that's private. I didn't want them. I need to open that one back up. Boss Taylor is my main tree. Shannon, I'll open it up for somebody. I don't know. I need to open that one back up. It's Eddie's supposed to clean it up for me, but he hasn't got around to it yet.
Can you see these?
My gallery.
Yeah.
That's my brother Larry. Brother Larry, my mom,
Who's this?
my mom.
Both of those are? Who just
That's
jumped?
my mom. That's my mom, right? The one y'all now. My brother Larry is with a cousin named Wells, or Leslie Wells.
Who was this up
They
here?
get on. She's getting on the get. I don't know. It's just something I found on somebody's page. I do that stuff.
So who was this in the picture?
Which one?
With your brother.
She's a kid on my grandma's side, the Gibbs side.
Uh, right?
They came to Richmond one time, and my brother liked her. She liked my brother as cousins, so they hugged up.
Oh man, that's a story.
Which tree was that? Maybe if you could get into my, can you get into my Mouse Taylor gallery?
No.
I'll send you, give me your email.
Um, Jerry, Jerry,
Mm-hmm.
Moss, Moss,
Mm-hmm.
dot SR
Okay.
at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. I'll send you an invite so you get in that tree. It's all messed up. I got a lot of doubles and stuff in there. I need to go in and change.
That's Shannon. That's Shannon's a name in that area over there. That's a
You see,
Shannon's.
my mom was a Shannon.
Yeah.
Eubanks Shannon.
There
Hmm.
they are right there.
Yeah.
But your mother was named Ethel.
No, it was my grandmother. My mother was Addie.
There it is right there.
Hmm.
See, mine, yeah, there she is right there. Eddie,
Yeah, my grandma.
yeah. And there's Leroy, William R.
This Charlie is who we think is Quantrell.
Huh?
Charlie, who we think is Quantrell.
Right here?
We think he's a Quantrell. We found him as a Quantrell, at least we think it's him with that same birthday. And I brought one of my auntie's birth certificates where him and mom and Emma lived together, but we can't find a marriage license.
What that means?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want
that
to.
was my family in a bucket.
That was pretty cool.
My main tree has more pictures.
Okay, let's take a look at this again.
Mm.
So, you see these gym mats?
Hmm.
Uh,
Can you screenshot that and send to me? So I like to compare the two matches with my ancestry.
let me make you a bigger one.
Hmm.
All of them. Let me go back. How how do you screenshot yours?
With my iPad,
What do you do? What do you click on?
I just do my on button and I don't know what you call this one, but it pretty well.
Okay, what I do is I just do what um I
Okay, there's my screenshot in the corner.
I'm I'm gonna do mine the way that I snipping tool.
Go ahead here and see where I can add you. Yeah. Account. Hmm. See.
What I'll do is I'll get I'll get that to you.
Hmm.
I'll send it to you.
All right.
But let's take one last look at it before we go.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is Can you see it now?
Mm-hmm. Roads.
You know which one did you say you knew?
That I thought I might know.
Yeah.
Mark Sutter. Maybe this MG
What Mark Sutter? Oh, Sutter, right here,
Sutter.
right here.
Mm-hmm. And there was a preacher that used to come to our church. His last name was Sutter. Let's see. Lawrence Walker. It's Larry Walker. Mamie Road. Hmm. See, I just go to show because all these names don't show up on my, like you didn't show up on my ancestry, but it's clear we're kin.
Right.
Tynette Williams, it looks familiar. Hmm.
There's somebody that Angela. See that Angela Briggs?
Mm-hmm.
She has three of them. This
I
Lawrence
have
Walker.
four.
This Lawrence Walker.
Yeah, I thought it was Waller. That's why I asked you to go back. I thought it was Waller, but that's Walker.
Is the one that you have? Is it a Walker or a Waller?
Well, I have a Waller. I have four different jet match numbers. 27 matches. Hmm. Ain't that something?
Well, we did our exercises.
1 on 1.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm sort of happy that we did.
Right,
We accomplished a lot.
right. Mhm. Yeah, we did.
Did have have you shared your screen yet?
I was trying to figure this out.
Take one opportunity briefly and share your screen. It doesn't matter what you have, but share something.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Well, we'll do that when we have a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go through the steps on do that.
I was trying to. Hmm,
We're
I was
gonna do
trying
that
to
because
do where you can see my main tree.
well,
Look like they did change something up in here.
again, we'll do that on a one-to-one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do some practicing because we want to get you up to speed on that.
Okay.
So we did cover some important information. I appreciate you being here.
I
Do
appreciate too.
you have any?
I always enjoy you, dear. Even on the phone. That's
Oh,
why we talk so long.
yeah,
we you shop and you shop and talk at the same
yeah,
time.
and I want to be have some joy and be patient
Right, right,
and faithful,
right.
and that's what we've had today.
Yeah, it was nice. And 1 on 1, it was got more accomplished. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being there for me, and let's talk again before Thanksgiving. Do
Okay.
you have any final words or requests for me?
No. I got to figure out this ancestry again. They done changed up where you said people. It's got everyone can see your tree, only you can see your tree.
Well, it's a process, you know. We just got to go to customer service, or we'll work it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna try to send that to you.
And thanks for having, you know, your daughter on. That was nice to hear her voice.
Well, oh, she was off the chain this morning. I told her the devil done got in her. My nurse was here. She was cracking up at her. Don't laugh at her. She's not funny. She thinks she is.
The spirit is stronger. The spirit in her is stronger than that devil. So take
Right.
care, cuz. Take care.
Okay. Love you.
Love you more.
Bye bye.
Had a good meeting. Formative. Good talking with Ethlyn, going through different research tool techniques and going over my presentation. That makes a difference. Being prepared, practicing. But for those that I won't see before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. All's well. And then that was an interesting story, what you said about the indigenous people, different celebrations. Don't celebrate just because somebody tells you to. You got to have a purpose for everything that you do. That being said, it's all good.